Hello and welcome. Kiss frontman Gene Simmons went from schoolteacher to rock god and then sometime movie star and most recently into reality TV in what has been a very diverse show business career. He left the classroom to create a tongue-wagging, fire-breathing, larger-than-life character with Kiss, touring the world and selling tens of millions of records. Gene was influenced by a childhood love of comic book superheroes, monster movies and rock music after moving with his family from Israel to New York. His scarifying onstage persona was, not surprisingly, far removed from the private man, a quietly spoken, articulate guy, now the father of two adult children, with former Playboy centrefold Shannon Tweed. I saw him once on a flight from Sydney to Perth, walk back from his first-class seat to sit down with a young paraplegic boy and chat for 20 minutes after he learned that the lad was a fan. His early movie credits include Runaway, Wanted Dead or Alive, Trick or Treat, Never Too Young to Die, and Frontrunner. Gene admits that he had a wild time in his younger days in Kiss, and the adulation of female fans was one of the greatest attractions for getting into the rock music industry. No surprise there. It was 1985 when we sat down for this chat in Los Angeles. Kiss had just finished another tour, and Gene was getting set for some of his movie roles.
20th album came out about 10 months ago. We toured with it for 6 months in America. And then I just cut my hair off about 2 months ago to do these movies.
Right.
And grew a beard because in one of them I play a terrorist.
You know, I was down on the set of Wanted Dead or Alive last night, down in Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd never find the bloody place. I was driving for days.
In the big Steam place, yeah.
Yeah. So is that any conflict for you, playing an Arab terrorist?
No, not at all. I think, in one way I was concerned about it initially. I mean, it's a stretch. It's interesting for me because I'm Israeli. And so if I'm convincing as an Arab, then that's good. Then I've done my job. I speak no Arabic. But in the movie, I speak Arabic. Fluently, so they say, because my sidekick, Joe Nasser, is Arabic. He's Palestinian. Actually, on the Jordanian side. But anyway, to make a long story short, I came up with the idea that if I was going to order my henchmen around, then it should be in Arabic.
Sure.
And also that I should be fluent in 5 or 6 languages.
Are you fluent in do you speak
other languages? I speak Hebrew,
right.
Hungarian, a little German, some English, just a couple of phrases in Japanese.
Right.
And so that part's interesting. But it's less a political movie and more about a guy who's just gotten off on himself. There's a line in the script that says, I order my henchmen around, I say, go and do this, with a snap. It's obey or you're dead.
Mm.
And they say anything for the cause. And I stop them and I say, no, I am the cause.
Mm.
And so it's very clear that whatever political beliefs he may have, that he's really doing this much more for himself.
Mm.
So it's less political. On the surface, it seems, he's an Arab. But if somebody robs a bank in Australia, for instance, and he happens to be Italian, you say, well, is this about Italians and Australians together? It's really not.
Yeah, right.
He's really out for
But you did initially sort of have a little bit of concern about it?
No.
No?
No. For the facts of life are, this is what it is.
Right. And overall, I mean, it's an action thriller, essentially.
Yes, it's less political and much more action. And his motive, I was going to say modus operandi, but then people say, what are you trying to do, impressive? So his motives are much more personal and less political. He's in Los Angeles blowing everything up, but really to get the attention of this guy, this bounty hunter, Rutger Hauer.
But there apparently is an old personal war that's been waged.
That's right. So it's much more one-on-one and less where somebody's from.
So what's the other film that you're doing at the moment?
Trick or Treat for De Laurentiis. It's a rock and roll horror movie about a rock star who comes back from the dead, to put it bluntly. I was offered that role and I didn't want to do it, but there's a disc jockey who's sort of a voice of conscience for the kid. who's the lead in the movie, who sort of he's the voice of conscience of rock and roll, who's, you know, talking, yeah, groovy guys right here in the top 40 groove, you know, it's a sweeping sensation, it's sweeping the nation. So you get a chance to talk that sort of radio disc jockey lingo, but he has a conscience, because when the kid comes to him for advice, he gets real, and he tells him, look, this is music and it's good stuff, but he wasn't a god, and so don't.
And who's playing the rock and roll?
I don't know. I never heard any of the actors.
Have you done?
Yes.
You've completed.
Well, the deal was, I was shooting in the middle of Wanted Dead or Alive, and I told them I would do the role because I liked the role, but they'd have to arrange it so I could come in and just shoot all my scenes.
Right. Who plays the kid?
I don't know. They had, I'm sorry. His name is Mark. I can't remember his name. I'd never heard of him.
I'll get it from Dylan.
But there was a guy who I was playing with, and then all my scenes were done there, like, you know, 2 camera and so on.
Right. And you said there was a third one?
Comes out Friday, called Never Too Young to Die.
All right, this is with the billboards. So what sort of a character is that?
It's a hermaphrodite, sort of a transvestite, whose name is Velvet.
Well, certainly an interesting range of characters there.
I mean, I don't want to just get out there and be a musician with a guitar around his neck.
No, I know. I remember talking to you. We had a long chat, and you were talking about your days as a school teacher and you know, what you could do maybe. And at that stage, I think Kiss had done at least one movie, and you saw that movies then were a potential for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So has it been easy to get in? I mean, you were established as a rock icon essentially.
Yeah.
And that must have opened all the doors for you. But I mean, after that, was it?
It opens some doors, because if you pick up the phone and call somebody, you can sit down and talk to them because they're interested. Gee, this is a strange person. I wonder what he's like. But past that, that's not going to get you a job.
But that was the initial reaction, was it? Gene Simmons, hey, you're the guy that had all the paint on the face, sort of thing.
A little less than that, because everything out here seems to be done socially. So if you go to a party and somebody meets you and they look at you and they go, well, you know, you should, you got an interesting face. So I think my first movie, Runaway, with Tom Selleck, I don't think the people in the movie knew very much about the group at all, except, you know, Kiss and, one of you breathes fire, doesn't it? Or, you know, that's about all they knew. Which is fine with me, because I don't want to rest on my past laurels, or Hardy's for that matter.
Right.
And so I got that job by sitting there with the director, Michael Crichton, and he said, I think you've got the job. I want you to meet the producer. So I met the producer, and he said, so you're Gene Simmons, huh? You want to be the bad guy in this movie, huh? I said, yeah, sounds like a good idea. He says, all right, for 30 seconds, look into my eyes. Don't say anything. Don't make any facial expressions, but somehow give me the impression that you're going to tear my heart out. So we looked at each other for 30 seconds, and he said, then you got the job. Sort of what you're doing now, you know, this...
Yeah. But you couldn't make any... there were no facial expressions at all?
No. I mean, you don't do that, but
no,
sort of... From like this, you go to...
Right. Had you done acting? Had you done drama as a teacher and taken drama classes and so on?
I took private acting lessons from a respected New York acting coach. His name is Alice Spivak. But I studied for movies. I studied for camera, not in class. I have a television. I have a 7-foot television screen at home with a camera. So we would do scenes, and I would instantly see my performance instead of hearing it from somebody else. So before I'd get criticized, we would both sit down. Okay, let's watch this. And then
both being
my teacher.
Right.
We would do scenes together. And then I'd watch back my performance, and then we could start talking about it because we had both seen it. She had seen what I was doing, and then I had seen what I had done, and then we could talk about it.
I was thinking more of going back to your days as either in high school or then teaching or...
Yes, I had done acting there, but nothing serious, because there you know, high school plays and so on, and college plays are more so you can get laid, so that you get up on stage and you're an important man about it. But rock and roll did much more.
Well, you get laid easy.
In that area, yeah.
So what now is the image that producers, directors, the studios have of Gene Simmons after three pictures?
It seems more acting. I started another one July 1, and it's a very well-respected role. It's a movie called Frontrunner, and it's the lead role. I'm a coach for a high school running squad or something. Paul Newman originally owned the property, and he was going to play the lead role. So it's a good, serious piece.
Who's directing that?
I don't know. I met with the producer and just,
Is it for one of the mini majors? Or?
Independently financed, and then they're going to sell it.
So in between all of this, are you still writing music?
Writing music.
You're still producing?
Producing a group called Black and Blue now. I'll be doing another one right away in August called Autograph, which is a reasonably successful group in America. And a Japanese group called Flatbacker at some point. Then I have to do the third album by Keel, which is the group I have been producing all their records so far. And then Kiss will start its next record in the fall. Right. And will be...
so that's the 21st album?
21st.
Who's in the group now?
Paul.
Ace is not there anymore.
No, Ace was let go by 82.
Right, so
Paul Stanley,
right.
Gene Simmons, Eric Carr, who's been with
still
us.
the drummer.
Yes.
He's a great drummer.
He's a wonderful guy. And Bruce Kulick. Bruce Kulick has been with us for about 2 years.
Did he come from another group at all, or was he a session musician?
More session musician. What's ironic is his brother, Bob Kulick, was going to be the original guitar player 12 years ago. And it didn't work out.
So he's a New Yorker?
Yes, everybody is.
Right. And what Kiss now? What you've gone past the original image of the characters and so on.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of an image does the band present at the moment? Are you just
a group that? No, it's. I mean, the show is still flamboyant and there's, bombs and so on. The tradition of the live show gets carried on, but what something it's the same chocolate but wrapped in a different wrapper.
Yeah. But do you still wear makeup inside on stage?
Stage makeup, but not.
But not the character makeup.
Right. To enhance certain eye things.
And musically, where have you moved?
Same thing. Music designed to make fat girls lose weight within 100 yards of the stage. And also the light truss is designed to give you a tan, so you don't have to go to... That's
all things to most people.
Well, it's the dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Right.
I don't like...
And it pays well.
Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, that stuff is not a main prerequisite. No, because how much do you want? I mean, I've been well off for a long time, so it's not, and I'm thankful for it, and But how many meals a day are you going to eat, and how many pairs of shoes are you going to wear? What are you going to do? No, so the money's not the thing of it at all. It never was. It was always more about girls. The reason I first picked up a guitar and then a bass is I wanted to get laid more. And somehow or other, it seems, when you put a guitar on your neck, somehow they flock to you like bees to honey.
Yeah, I've never had the courage to try.
It's amazing. It is amazing. They want to have your children. They will do anything. They don't want anything from you. They just want to buzz around like flies around shit. I don't know what it is. It's, well, I'm sure I know what it is. It is, first of all, a certain lifestyle makes a person a little bit more interesting because first of all, you see the world. And so that's a person who's got something to talk about other than, gee, let's go watch the ball game, baseball. Right. And how many girls enjoy football or baseball? They start watching it because the guys sort of force them to, but they don't care about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so you've been to the best restaurants in the world, met the most interesting people, and so on, and so that's appealing to women. And they like the power.
I think the power is something that, they wouldn't identify it as power.
But it's sexual.
But it is, yeah.
But power is sexual. And while groupies are lots of fun and all that, the kinds of women that attract me, for more than just one-night stands, are women with power. I recognize what it is. I don't want a girl to define herself by my last name, not for more than a night or two. And then she's got to be able to stand on her own 2 feet.
You sing Shannon Tweed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Has that been a long relationship?
Gee, I guess not. Not so long. But forget marriage. No, no, no.
Yeah.
You can't. I can't. I don't know how anybody does it.
Gets married?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just in the midst of a breakup of a marriage with 2 kids involved. People kept saying, well, you know, you'll sort of restart your life and you'll get married again. I said, I don't think I will. I don't think I will.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't understand why people go through the process of walking down an aisle and signing a piece of paper. I mean, it may be, fun. It's like going to a party, perhaps. But you can have the party without the paper. And,
I agree.
And ultimately, what it means, I think, is that you...
Is that the guy pays.
Hmm?
What ultimately means is the guy pays.
Well,
the guy pays.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
No, but I mean, when you don't sign papers and do that sort of thing, it means that the relationship has got to be a lot more honest if it's going to last.
I agree. Because a piece of paper isn't going to keep 2 people together. If they don't like each other, they won't be together, period.
With the development of, the range of stuff that you're doing, can you see yourself moving on to direct, for instance?
I'd like to. I'd like to write the great American novel. I'd like to write...
You're serious about that?
Yes, I'm serious about a lot of things. I want to paint. I want to manage other artists. I started a management company with my business manager. We managed 2 acts. I managed Liza Minnelli and a group called Shalimar.
You did or you do?
Do.
Oh, really?
And I want to write a great book. I want to paint a great painting. I'd like to be on the first ship that goes outside of the solar system. I would like to...
Have you booked?
Pardon me?
Have you booked?
There is no book. There is no flight.
I thought there was a booking. I think it's in there.
That's to Mars or Moon, outside the solar system.
Oh, right.
I would like to learn other languages. I would like to, live, learn, and experience things.
I think it's a great attitude, actually. Because it's amazing when you set out to achieve things. If you set yourself goals, you do achieve an amazing amount.
Well, speaking of amazing things, it's how people somehow believe that anybody who is either rich or successful or famous, how people forget that nobody was born like that. That you somehow either figure out how to do it or it's hard work.
Absolutely.
People say to me, hey, you just hang out, you guys, and stuff. I work 15 hours a day. I just came from a meeting, got up early. I got up at 5. Had to do all sorts of other work. I came with a meeting with this other group called Autograph to try to figure out when to do this. I come right in here to do this. I take care of you at the same time, so I don't have to go to the office. I've got a script with me. I'm developing motion pictures as well to produce. And I have to send a copy off to an investor out in Las Vegas. I'll make a copy. There's a cassette with me now for a Japanese group that I'm going to be producing, but I want somebody to write the songs for. So I'm going to be sending this away to a writer who I want to write lyrics on. And so all that stuff is going on at the same time, but you can do many things at the same time if you have professional people around you helping. You can't do it all yourself. But you can do it all.
And the successful people are the good delegators too, aren't they?
Yeah, but I tell you what, when I go to sleep every night, it's just a long stretch and I go, wow, I did a lot today. And that's satisfying because, okay, so I have a lot of money, so what? So now what? What do you do?
Do you sleep long hours?
I don't eat anymore. I don't. Huh?
Do you sleep long hours, or are you one of those people who can sleep 3 or 4 hours?
3 or 4 hours is not enough. 5 is good.
Do you relax at all? I mean, do you get out and go horse riding or play tennis? Or
I don't like
run?
that. I'm very competitive, so if I do any of that, it winds up being very competitive. So when I play racquetball, but I don't enjoy just hitting a ball. I like to win.
Right.
So Sure, I've ridden horses and stuff, but I don't like to do nothing all day. I've tried that. I go away on vacations. It doesn't work. I get fat, bored, and think less of myself.
Right.
And then at the end of the week I say, well, what have we got to show for yourself?
These days, Gene is now in his early 70s, and while Kiss has toured recently, Gene has also turned his hand to painting during the recent pandemic. Many of his paintings went on display and were sold, despite him protesting he didn't know a thing about painting and was just trying to keep his mind active.